Hello. Can you hear me well? Sorry. It's super bright here, so I cannot see everyone down there, but good afternoon. I'm in for marketing Coca-Cola Vietnam, and I'm very grateful to be here and to listen to all of the reflections and discussions from the morning until now on how to create a better consumer engagement. So to follow this topic, I would like to share some reflections from Coca-Cola on how we have tried to better engage consumers and to drive the business growth. This is a tough topic, and Coca-Cola as a company, we have some certain success stories, but for the most part, there's still a lot of things that we want to try to do. So in this time of 20 minutes, I'd like to share a few principles that Coca-Cola have been trying to learn in order to engage with our consumers. And they are agility, precision, immersion, and collaborations. And then a part of that during the journey, there's also a lot of challenges. And that in the spirit of shaping the future of marketing today, I would like to share in the hope of one is to give everyone a food for thoughts, to stimulating everyone. And second, maybe a lot of brands and industries and our agency partners out there have already had the solutions. So we welcome and we would like to learn more. So the 4 challenges is really about what the future holds, is there a linear growth attribution? And how can we make the right choices? And then how can we be more human or consumer centric? So the first point I would like to touch base is on the consumer journey, definition itself. So the consumer journey is really at the fundamentals of our business because marketing is all about changing the consumer behaviors through their experiences with our products. And we need to let them go through the funnels of aware interest, purchase, repurchase, and then advocate for the brand. That is a universal principle. But when it comes to, how to drive that linear consumer mapping, it is not that simple. The reason is because the consumer journey is super complex. It is driven by the emerging rise of multiple different channels and the rise of the increasing dynamics in the consumer's life. It is depending on what consumer really see every day, do every day, how do they feel. So it is a really matrix of different scenarios of journey that we're looking into today. It's even really more challenging because the consumer journey is not static. It is changed with a different effects in life, and sometimes it's small, sometimes it's big, and sometimes there's the global forces like COVID-19 or digitalization that will forever reshape our routines and reshape our perspective. So, and then there's a hyper-dynamic categories where in beverages, consumers don't make the consumptions in a matter of months or weeks. They make this consumption decision 6 times per day. So how will we capture that in our consumer journey? So we will have, 4 lessons that we want to reflect today. One is on agility. So when the consumer change, we just have no choice but having to follow the change itself. And COVID-19 is the time when we go through these tests. So you can see that in Feb 2021, there's COVID, and our consumer behavior doesn't change like over the course of years. It changed overnight. Very quickly, consumer moved from away from home to at-home consumptions. Then in March, Coca-Cola said, we want to stop advertising to spend our effort into trying to help with COVID combat. And then we review our plan and see all of our coming plan are about away from home, cheerful activities that will definitely become tone deaf and irrelevant for consumers. And then by June 20, Coca-Cola decided globally to post all of our social media because we really want to enhance all the management of inappropriate and hate and really racist content on social media. So in the course of a few months, we have the consumer behavior change. We have totally new media plan, and then we have less DME to spend. So agility, really is a choice that we have to make. So pivots plan, replan all our activities. So that's why in May 2020, just 2 months after that, we launched the first global campaigns without boost media and without shooting. It is totally the collage of beautiful images of consumers and spark the the love and the belief in the humanity in order to win in this combat of COVID. And it's totally spread out through organically through the power of humanity. And on June, we're starting to have an at-home campaigns with increasing our product relevance at home. From online, from on-ground food fest, we go into a virtual food fest in collaboration with Shopee. And all our trade activities now all gearing towards the home stock up. And then all of this effort, we decided to share by year end with MMA to the bigger audiences and to recognize, all the effort that we've been trying to do in a really incredible year of COVID. The second lesson is truly about precision. So precision marketing can help us target better at a more optimized cost. But precision marketing can be a double-edged sword. So before we can start all of the precision marketing, really it's important to have the right inputs. So that's why in clients like Coca-Cola, the very first step that we'd like to work with our agency and with everyone is to really have a rigorous business brief. Very short and condensed, but really cover your business and marketing objectives with KPI, with resource and focus priorities, and then with insights. So this is the starting point. And then when you go into executions, there's also the important in terms of end-to-end connection plan strategy and media's principles. This will help us to not go through all the phases in the consumer funnels, but instead with each objectives, we're focusing on the key touch points in our funnels only. And then for that, have a good selection of channels that will help us best deliver the objectives. And all of these end-to-end connection plan and media principles are in testing on a regular basis in order to have the best model. So one of the very small example is that in 2021, we have been able to double the size of zero-calorie segment just by having the right brief and having a little bit of tweak in our end-to-end connection plan. So the third learnings that we have is actually immersion. So we know that consumers now, can you believe that averagely on a daily basis, they see 5,000 ads per day. So if you are just one of the 5,000 ads in the consumers and you want to change their behaviors, you don't want just to have a disrupting ads to just targeting them right. It is really about to have the engaging, integrated marketing experiences. So in Coke, we really believe that you need to immerse in the consumer's life, be a part of their life in order to increase your product's relevance. So I see a lot of examples from Google's, from Meta, and from TikTok in order how to engage with consumers. For example, we want to engage our consumers, which are teens. And Coca-Cola, the brand, was born on May 8th, 1886. So the 136 years old brand, how can you continue to be relevant for the consumers? You just have no choice but have to stay young and stay where the consumers are. That's why you've seen in all of our activities, we're trying to explore and learn new things about the youth life. So we tap into the passion points like music, movies, food as a passion point, e-sport, football, and fashion. So those are the things that we have consciously and continuously been doing. The second thing is that we also try to keep with all the trend that is the teens is really interesting right now. You can see that a few months ago, we have giving out the promotion that we can give the consumer NFT promo. We launched the range of Mixer, which is the product that we collaborate with bartender in order to serve you in the bar. We also create a co-creation series that is, reflecting on the latest consumer trend with the Starlight, with Giga, and co-creation Bites in collaboration with Fortnite. The next thing that we have been using is really on our packaging. You have seen that Coca-Cola have always tried to keep our packaging pristine. So we keep our branding really as the original as it is. But for some very key important occasions, we leverage our packaging in order to create a powerful message for the consumers. And you can see like Coca-Cola Tết Vietnam is a very worldwide appreciated exception on the packaging, where we embrace the beauty of Vietnamese values during Tết time with the iconic swallow visuals. or the love can instead of the logo Coca-Cola brand can that you really celebrate on the LGBT Pride Month. And then the Kim Trump can, Love for Love, Peace and Understanding, is launched. It's another Fast and Furious project in a matter of months because we want to celebrate the Peace Summit and the hope for humanity. So those are a few things that Coca-Cola have been trying to do in order to continue to be engaging with the consumers. The fourth learnings that we have is that in order to create all of those experiences, we cannot do it alone. So that's why Coca-Cola, we really open to all the partnership, and because we want to have a win-win in collective efforts. That effort is coming not just from internal, so from all our portfolios, coming from cost functions like with commercial. The effort is also coming from the way we restructure. So we're just talking about winning organization. So in Coca-Cola, in last year, we're also undergoing a change into a networked organization. So we, in order to create and to maximize the scale of our operations in 200 countries in the world, in order to have, to scale the ideas in a biggest scale as possible, while we're still keeping our intimacy with the local and be localized, locally relevant whenever it's needed. So externally, together with a network organization, the biggest change we have with the agency side is we have a global contract with partnership with WPP partner. And then we set up a way of working with WPP called Coca-Cola Open X. So here, whenever the agencies propose a plan, it is not just about media and creative separately. The media, the different divisions in WPP like creative, media, shopper, adaptations, agency, all come in one in order to create one seamless plan for Coca-Cola, and then in return create a seamless experience for our consumers. And then I have touched base on all of the activities that we try to engage with our consumers. And there will be the collaboration with all the food service aggregator, our customer, all of the brands, passion points partners, and gaming. And even, in our sustainability effort, we also need to partner with a lot of sustainability supporter as well. So those are just a few certain success stories that Coke have. But going forward, there's still a lot of things that we've been facing. And I'm so glad that I'm seeing some solutions from some of our partners that presented here. So, for example, the first challenge that Coca-Cola have is that we don't know exactly what the future holds. There's still a lot of things, awaits us. What happens after COVID, how the world will be like after COVID. We're still trying to figure it out. And then everything is, the world is flatter than ever. So every issues of the global is not issue of any single country. So how can we really tackle with that together with technology? So needless to say, all the trends that is shaping the industry right now. So what we remind ourselves is that we need to stay focused, to stay ahead of the curve and constantly learning. But we really hope to have the advice and also the sharing from our partners in order for us to really be more informed of all the changes ahead and be proactively in preparation for the future. The second thing is really on, it's sometimes a struggle for us to really have a linear growth attribution from marketing to business results. We know in marketing, we do marketing, but it all starts from business results. So you need to have a business objective to deliver. And based on that, you have marketing strategies and you have marketing KPIs. So what triggers the consumption, the purchase intent? What are the trials you want to drive? And what are the imageries you want to drive? So it seems to be very linear in the traditional way of marketing. But now when you deploy that in the marketing executions in the world of omni-channels, multiple channels, and our content is no longer owned by the brand, we have a lot of KOL, KOC, and user-generated content. So how does all of these activities help and contribute towards, the attributes that we want to build, the consumption that we want to trigger? It's not always a black and white answer. We have some data from Google, we have data from Facebook, we have data from TikTok, but sometimes it's really hard for marketing team to really have a holistic picture. and decide what is the optimal bundle for our business to execute. So the third challenges from us is really based on that. You have more possibilities than ever before. So you see today there's so many solutions that you are offering for us, but we have more scarce resource with more options. So how can we do that? So this is the issues that we're facing every single day. So there are multiple choices that we have to make. So for example, should I invest in marketing brand building activities, or should I invest in an e-com activities that will drive transaction? Should I invest in a long-term brand building or some very immediate growth hack or performance marketing results? I have multiple brands and multiple opportunities for each of that, which brand I need to invest. I have a lot of activities even within one campaigns, which one I need to choose. Or even innovation is a very difficult topic because there are very few innovations that can last and can, really grow. So up to some point, you need to make a tough call on, whether you want to continue nurturing or you want to delete that innovations. So we are trying to have a rigorous data in order to help us inform with the solutions, but these are the metrics of multiple different choices that we continue to make every day. And sometimes there are choices that seems to be very obvious to the audience here, like you need to invest in first data. But, that is not an obvious choice when we need to put that into the pressure of revenue delivery and other objectives as well from the business. So difficult choices is one challenge that we're still facing. And then the fourth one is, the last one is, are we consumer-centric? And along, with all of the pressure, with all of the performance marketing that we have today, sometimes we're so obsessed with data, but we know that for categories, at least for what we're operating in, consumer is still the heart of the business. The ultimate decision maker is still the consumers. And they not making decisions just based on some data. They're making 95% of the consumers are making decisions really very subconscious and emotional decisions. So really consumer is still at the heart of our business. But how can we do that? I'm talking this from two angles. One, the consumers as really a target audience. So now we're looking at consumers really like a set of data and a subsegment. They seems to be someone who is very savvy, practical, someone who is super impatient, who are powerful, and who are FOMO. So this is where the way we look at our consumers. So how can we build brands in this new time? It is very difficult. So the brand that can be relevant, can be appealing, can be trusted. So Coca-Cola brand, we're still trying to keep ourselves, have appealing stories, and then also the brand story for our multiple other brands in our portfolio as well. And then the second one is we're looking at consumers as a human beings. So they're not just someone who, expose or demonstrate some behaviors that we observed in the data. They're people as a human. And we know that consumers now are more divided, more disconnected, more anxious, more stressed, but they're also resilient, kind, grateful, and hopeful. So as a marketeers, it's go back to the core of what we're trying to do is that how can we be empathetic, be responsible, and talk to the consumers as a human? How can we leverage really data, not to just give us some performance data, but really storytelling data, which help us understand the why behind the what consumers are trying to do. How can we have technologies that not just disable, but really enable the human connection and really help us solve the humanity problems? So those really the passions of someone who's doing marketeer and as a marketing as a community. And so hopefully today, those challenges, we can have an opportunity to get some learnings from you, and together we may, have an answer to some of the remaining challenges. Thank you so much, and hopefully to see you in the next time in MMA.
Thank you so much, Mrs.